Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome, folks. Danny, haven't seen you in a while. How you doing? Hey, Wick Central. Hey, Raj. Hey, Stuart. Philip and Bill. Hey, Tuxedo. Hey, 1066 and Aetherling. And Rod. How are folks? Okay. So a little chill stream today. Playing around with the Stealthchanger. Figure a little extra content on that before I truly take the next several weeks off prior to Rocky Mountain. Hey, Nemi. Hey, Lord Getface. So, I have made some really good progress, actually, this last week or so on several projects. So, I'm feeling pretty good. And I've got a nice 4-day weekend here that I'm hoping to continue that trend. Hey, Joey. How are you doing? Let's see. So a few things. So the goal today, let's start with that. And then we'll get into some sidetrack stuff. And let's see, how does this go? This goes on there like that. So one of the goals, the reason and the productive reason for today is I want to continue getting this ready to get into workflow to use. Hi, Paul. So one of the projects that I had started working on the index, but I haven't finished, so I'm hoping to continue it on here, is building, no, not that one, building this keyboard, printing this keyboard for my coworker. And it is PLA with PETG supports. Now I've already removed these, but this one fits back in there pretty well. And the support, PETG support part of it is absolutely fantastic. It is so good. I mean, look at all these surfaces that were supported that are just so clean. This is really the beauty of a tool changer. Hi Ella. Hey Belint. Hey Danny. Hey Cody. Kobe. How was the movie? I heard there was a movie involved. What movie? But I'm not really pleased with the print settings, and this is just tuning stuff. So I want to work on tuning in the Stealthchanger here to print this. The reason I'm not continuing to tune this on the index is mostly because I haven't had time to sit there and tune it. But I am taking the index apart to rebuild it for Rocky Mountain. That's one of the big tasks I need to do for this period. Now Oscar is locked out. That's annoying. That's okay. April's doing laundry. Door just closed, but she is making a bunch of noise. That's okay. Anyway. Yes. So I will be taking the index apart, so I want to work towards tuning this up, and it's a good opportunity to work on the Stealthchanger anyway. So she must have heard me. But yeah, this all, oops, there we go. This all just looks so good with those incompatible material supports. So this is Prusament Galaxy Purple. And then this is Sunlu Black PETG. So, Andy. Other things I'm working on before we get too far into stuff is the other thing I've made huge progress on is parts for the Vertigo printer. I'm separating these out. I just have these little Prusa boxes, which are really nice for general storage and stuff. But I'm separating them out into the different number groups of prints. So I'm in the middle of printing. This is XY gantry stuff. And then this is Z joint stuff. So they're separated out into numbered folders on their GitHub. And these are turning out really good. I'm printing all of these on my Core 1L. It's just churning them out. Had to sneeze. And here's the big one. Look at that. This is a little bit of Tetris here to get these to fit into one box. But these are the feet. They are chonkers. Just the front or rear feet, whatever it was a 17-hour print. That's at the balanced profile on the core one. I don't know how I had these. Something like that. There we go. But yeah, that's a 17-hour print for just the front feet, a 14-hour print for the rear feet. So yes, I am questioning. I got 5 rolls of, that's all in Polymaker, Galaxy Black ASA. They sent me 5 rolls for this project. I feel like I may need to obtain a couple more. But yeah, this is progress. This is good. I've got planning this build when we come back from a little break here after Rocky Mountain. So we are going to be busy once I come back. We've got Vertigo build. We've got Core 1 Index to put in because I have a Founder's Kit reservation and bought and paid for that will be on its way. We have a couple other pretty big projects that I don't want to talk too much about yet. So yeah. I turn my filament boxes inside out so the clean side is on the outside. And I write the project info. Yeah, I don't know how well these would turn inside out because of the way these are. The really nice thing about these is the tabs don't go into slots on the side. They don't rely on having parts in the way or clear. So I guess they would turn inside out. It's got to, but since it's flat pack, it has to. But this works well. I can write on this label here and not write on the box. So yeah, it's a lot of filament. It's a lot of printing, and I've got many, many more prints to do. So what else? I'm working on the Phoenix. That's gonna get just the umbilical setup redone to the latest version stuff so it can go with me. And then if I have time, I might work on the Cascade a little bit. Flex the side so the inside pops out of the slot. Oh yeah, I know. I get it. Okay, not that one. That one. There we are. The printer. Everything's up and running. So there's a few things I want to do. I want to take a look at the macro that Nemi and Nick and JD were talking about for dock tuning. And I don't know if I'm necessarily worried about whether we do extra tuning on the docks, but I want to see what that looks like. I want to install the purge, the filament purge macro that was sent over to me. And then we might play with a new-ish thing out there called Helixscreen. So that looks interesting in having some built-in tool changer display stuff, or multi-filament in general between tool changers and filament multiplexers. So this is the filament. This is the Sunlu Elite Series PETG, and then here's the Cruciment Galaxy Purple that we'll play with. So just do some slicer tuning and stuff. Let me get my phone out of my pocket and go from there. So the first thing I want to do is this dock tuning. So let me grab those files. Got those. Where are they? Did JD send me those directly? Yes, Dock Tuner. Let me download this and save this there. So how are you all doing? We did not get a spring here. We went from 50s to 80s, like instantly. I really wanted a little period of like the 60s. Oh, okay. B2 blue. Stream settings. It's 31 last. Hey, it was 31 last night. We have 31 people watching right now. What do we got here? What is our today? We're seeing lows in the mid 50s, highs in the low 80s. We do see a little bit of 60s next week, but then back to high 70s, low 80s. How's it over there, Bill? How's the... Hey, Andrew. How's the weather over where you are? Okay. Let's go here and... Hey, Yuri. We are going to upload projects, Stealthchanger Dock Tuner. Dock Tuner config. Let's look at this and see what this shows here. Last Saturday I got sunburnt, mid 80s. This Saturday my locks are frozen on my truck topper. You're running about 2 degrees hotter than us? Because you don't get the Delta breeze, but you should get the ocean cool down. Cyclic Dock Tuner. Step, pickup, drop off safely, auto detect at pickup, verify. You live in a bowl. Yeah, that's how it was when I lived up in Red Bluff, which is about 2 hours north of here in the valley, this California valley. That was right at the base of heading up towards Mount Shasta, and that little bowl up there makes it really hot. 100 in teens was not uncommon. It's probably more common now, but it was not uncommon up there. Hey, Brent. Thanks for saying hi. Okay, name Dock Tuner. So this is just a whole macro here that I imagine once we include that in our printer config, we'll get some buttons in the interface to try this out. So let's go ahead and doesn't look like there's any configuration bits here. So let's try it. Printer config. And go down here to my, where was my, oh, here's my long list, my growing list of includes. What was that thing called? Dock Tuner. Include that and save and restart. Let's go ahead. We have tool 0 on there, so confirming that. Let's go ahead and do our whole home all QGL stuff right now. Are you guys able, I imagine that sound deadening is blocking out any background noises. Clothes washer is running, but let me know if anything comes through and I need to change anything. Can't hear any background noise. Cool. Ooh, cool. Are you ready for a long drive, Bill? I'm looking forward to it. Oh, big news. Like some of the best news I've heard in a long time. Is the Voron 2 Serial 0 that was raffled off and earned nearly $12,000 was the name that was drawn was a Maria. I don't know where they're from. I don't know what level of enthusiast they are, but that printer, through mutual benefit, ended up with Dan at West 3D. That made me so happy. And the reason why is because I was really worried and anxious about figuring out how to support an unknown person and getting that thing set up. And when I reached out to get their contact information so I could start that process and learn that Dan had received it, a whole weight came off of my mind. I was so happy. So now Dan has Switchwire Serial 0, Voron 2 Serial 0, and Phoenix Serial 1. So, Holmesy. Dan. I don't know, Deanna, where's that coming from? Did I say Deanna somewhere? He's collecting them like Infinity Stones. What happens when he gets them all? There is no Trident 0. There's a Voron 1 Serial 0. But I don't think that actually exists anymore. I think, I could be wrong, I think that ended up turning into Legacy 0. And Sanity has Legacy 0. So it's in Prague. Accent, I don't have an accent. I'm from California. Not born, but raised. I don't have an accent. But anyway, there is no Trident 0. The very first my development Trident is Voron 1 Serial 210. Hey Ella, how was the movie? Hey Danny. 5 minutes from West 3D. Yeah. Okay. Where are we? We go down here now. We got a bunch of macros. And we have tool aligned stuff. Is that dock tuner? Maybe that's not tool aligned. Maybe it's dock tuner. Omaha, Nebraska is the location of language neutral? Really? I find that hard to believe, but I could be wrong. No, not yet, Ella. Was there anything? That's why newscasters come from there? Let me see. Oops, that's not where I wanted. Oh, I'm fooling around in here. this is just... Okay, well, we'll just hit the button. Let's hit the button and see what happens. We hit, what are the options here? Ah. What if we hit it with no options? Dock tuner. Okay. Oh. Now we've got a whole menu of stuff. Step through the path. Okay. So if I click this button, we should go to, so that's the next move. I can't show both of these at the same time. If I do that, it gets into the dock. So this is just stepping through the motion. Each little step, I guess. If I just keep clicking here. Okay, so that's that. Sorry. Back, stepping back. It should pick up. Yep, and it's just kind of stepping through. If I keep clicking this, pulling each bit. What is that? Oh, that's interesting. What is that doing? Huh. Okay, so we're gonna leave it right there. Super busy, bought a house and trying to work on getting the garage and office right by my printers and toys. Nice. So if I run drop, it should drop off the tool. Oh, this is handy just to have to do stuff like that. What did that do? Oh yeah, it just dropped the tool off. And if I run pick, it should go and pick up the tool. Yeah, that's cool. Hey, Phelps. I don't know if there's a better view here. All the reflections. Maybe we can move this in closer. Something like that. The distance between the docks, I don't know. They're evenly spaced across the center, from the center. Hey, Neil. Hey, Zen. Okay. So now we can run drop, and it should go and drop off the tool. And then can I change? Check detect. What does that do? I don't know what that did. And then we can tune dock position. I don't think, I could be wrong, but I don't know if that's enough resolution, is it? Reset docking position. So I think the idea here, we close this, and then oops, I need to open that back up. Let's bring this back up and run the pickup. Oh, well, that didn't. Something happened. Something happened. It did not like, it's closing it and reopening it. So I need to start over because I skipped some steps there. So I need to cancel. Let's restart. What did this change? I'm concerned here, Nemi. What did this change? It wants to do a save config. What did I click that it wants to change? I move things around. It really bugs me that I don't. Well, let's look at the console. Let's look at the console. New docking position. Either manually save these values or commit out the parking position in your config and call save config. I'm not going to. I am going to. What the hell that is? I am just going to restart. Because I think that my dock position was fine. We showed that by doing a print. Works a treat. Awesome. Let's see if this is different from what I have. Let's pull this up in a new... Let's see if that's different from what I have. Let's look here. .286.5, 286.5, minus 0.6 and 0.3. Minus 0.6 and 0.3. Okay. It didn't actually change it. So that's fine. I didn't change anything. I didn't adjust anything. But I did want to get a look at it. But considering today's goal is to actually do a print, I don't know that I want to mess around with actually making a change. Congrats, Ella. Okay, so it doesn't really matter. What happened? Let's see. It's not changing anything, so I'm going to go ahead and click Save Config. I want to see if it actually gives me any kind of error or anything. Save config section, option params, conflict with included value. Okay, whatever. Let's just reboot. We'll start over here. While it's doing that, pull the okay, everything's still locked. Let it boot back up. The prep is going reasonably well. I have a ambitious set of goals, so, but I have made a lot of progress towards those. Let's see. Well, is this thing? Oh, there we go. This thing down far enough so that it, oh, you guys are just seeing a screen. There we go. Just slowly move this down. I want to be good enough. Grab tool 0. That's the extent of what I want to do for dock tuner. Testing my thing, sending out an report back. Cool. Try it again. And go here and that's not in focus. What is in focus? There we go. QGL. Go. No Oscar. He doesn't get treats, I guess. Come on, Neil. How very Voron of you. Hello there. Who's gonna be? I got my last year's Rocky Mountain Voron shirt on. Who's gonna be at Rocky Mountain? Anybody going to Rocky Mountain for the first time? That's the question I want to know. Anybody going to the Rocky Mountain Rep Festival this year for the first time? Second time? You'll be there, Rod? Awesome. Okay. Home Z. And then I want to do a tool change to there we go. Grab tool 0 again. Cool. Okay. Tool changing is working. We didn't make any changes that are going to break any of that. Too close to Rapid. I know. I've never been to Boston. I would have liked to go to both shows, but they're too close. What was next? What was next? Oh, we need to set up. I need to set up the purge macro. So attach is my prime. This is all from Nemi. It works by priming all tools that have a target temperature above the minimum extrude temperature. To use it, you will need to preheat each tool in your print start macro with something like how noisy is Z when it does a change? Let me see here. Nope, not that one. Let's turn off the filter. Okay, so no filter. You'll miss your show this year, but you'll be on a cruise ship. There. I've never been on a cruise ship. Okay, let me, I think I can do it here. That way you can hear the whole thing. So let's go more, macros, and then scroll down to the T's. Nope. What happened? Don't I get a T0, T1? Apparently not on this one. How do I change tools on the screen? I have no idea, so I'll just hit it. You ready? Could you hear that? Go back to T0. Oh, I got an idea. Grab the other microphone. Are you on? There you go. Okay. Dunk. I'm sorry if that was loud. I really apologize. I didn't think about that. Okay, I'm about to tool change with the microphone sitting on the bed. So if it picks up all of the frame resonances and stuff, just a warning. There we go. It's not too bad. You can definitely hear it, but it's not an obnoxious sound. Let me turn filters back on because I forgot to turn them back on last time I did that. Sent you some macros to move the gantry without homing. Handy for when you get stuck up at the top. Ooh, yeah. Let's take this, put it back in its little charging case. How am I on charge? No, it's still 3 bars. I charge that thing like once every several months. You sent me, okay. Thomas. Okay, so the prime. So to use it, you will need to preheat each tool in your print start macro. And where does that go? Does that go in? Then after your print start in the slicer, add this. So let me download this prime lines config file. And then so let's go here and upload prime lines config. Look at it. So prime lines, prime all actively heated tools before printing. Requires our tools that are used in the print to be heated before running. Okay. That's all of that. So variable tools per X, number of tools primed in a single row. Number of prime lines per tool. So is this 5 here for me? Is this 5? Number of tools primed in a single row? I'm guessing. Distance between lines. Distance between each tool's prime lines. I think the rest of this is okay. So let's save that. And then at the end of my print start, which is up here, isn't it? Where is the print start? Did I? Maybe it's here. Is that? Yeah, this is it. Okay. So at the end of my print start, I need to put this other snippet of code. Now, this is all going in the docs, right? This is all going here. Has this been put in there yet? So you guys can see there, bottom of the screen. And this is the other little bit to this guy here. There we go. Okay, so this little bit that says do this for all heated macros. So let's save that. And then we'll have to do something in the print slicer settings. Nick is making it dummy proof. Cool. Okay. Awesome. So it's not there, it's being worked on. So this is kind of the preview. That's fine. So now we go back and prime lines config. I need to add to my printer config. So let's add to our includes. Excuse me. Hey, Troy. Okay, let's save and restart. Okay, something I did want to ask. So we're getting to the point where we're going to start tuning for this filament and try to get something printed. Something I did want to ask is if we were looking at this, some of the kind of ripples, I know this stuff might, some of that might be the STL. We'll look at it closer. But otherwise, some of the, if anybody has any suggestions, if you can tell it all from what you see, what would you change? You like to have a macros folder and do include macros. That works. 3. You need to hide that update list. What update list? Oh, this? Yes. So this is the bastard keyboards. Go bastard keyboard. Charybdis. This guy. That's what this will be. Right there. This is exactly what it'll be. I cannot see myself. It's not really for gaming. It's more for productivity and minimal, like ergonomic, minimal movement. But you have to do so many modifier keys for everything. Charybdis? Okay, thank you. Way too much coordination for me too. Agreed. There's I mean, even this little guy, this Charybdis Nano. Look at this. You have to do everything with modifier keys and this. But yeah, this is the one that they are doing. Where is it? There's kits, but I offered to print the parts. But yeah, anyway, that's what this is. So, where were we? This should be all set up. So let's go ahead. I need to unload all the filament that's in there. So since this is more fun to look at than a screen. This part here was printed on my index. This was printed on the index. But this was printed with knowing that I would have to tune more things. This was more a test of how this support stuff would turn out. And I have some interesting, it's not perfect, I have some interesting challenges there, like this spot. Didn't actually have supports under it, and I couldn't really get supports under it, so I don't know what's going on. I think it's a Prusa slicer thing, but TGL. Exterior ripples are a bit weird. Seen similar things with PA values. It could be. Very well could be. So I'm going to go through basically my general first first tests for tuning. And then maybe we'll find some print we can do. Maybe an upside down benchy or something. Thomas, I would highly suggest a Trident. I think if all goes well, for Vorons, a Trident will be the preferred index setup. I think you will find easier umbilical management, maximum build print area. I can confidently say that you will get more print area out of a Trident than a V2 with index. Will. Not right now. Right now it's probably about equivalent, but you will be able to. Not necessarily faster tool changes, because the you still run the bar across at the same level as the gantry on a V2 with index, unless you try to do something like this where you're actually moving to get to a fixed bar. Do they say when you'll get your pre-order? No, I have no idea when I'll get my Core 1 pre-order. I am expecting to get updated parts to bring to Rocky Mountain, because I'm bringing my Trident index build so Bondtech can have it at their booth at Rocky Mountain. So they are sending me updated parts to put on it. So I have printed all new things to get it together, and that's something I'm going to be starting to work on this weekend, is getting that rebuilt in anticipation of their parts coming in, hopefully this week. So, okay, that is done. Let's go back here. Yeah, I expect it to be all the latest stuff they've been showing off, Neil. Okay, let's get these up to temperature so I can pull the filaments. I'm gonna stay silent then, Joel, because that's the answer. Adam, welcome. Okay, get that up to, okay, there we go. And let's extrude a tiny bit and then retract a bunch. Okay. And then we're just gonna put the purple PLA on here. Instead of removing all and then adding, we'll just do this. Yep, got it. It caught it. Fortunately, I gotta go cook burgers at... Oh, awesome. Have fun, Bill. That was always fun when my son was in Little League. See you, Bill. Move that up a little bit so I can get to it easier. And extrude again. Okay, so that is just the purple. So let's cool it down. And sure that's all clipped. Shipping monolith kits out now to resellers. Awesome. Space is a great reason. I have empty space. I have a printer build. I get a printer build for the space. I have no space. I build a printer and find space later. That's basically what I'm doing at this point. That is basically what I'm doing. Okay, let's grab T1. And heat it up. Heated, heated, heated. Nope, not yet. Hey, Andrew. Heated. There we go. Okay, let's 5 extrude and retract. There we go. Our orange out of here. And we're putting the PETG in here. Hopefully this is dry enough. It has been sitting out, but so. I am going to put it just on the other side here so I can rotate the printer freely, but it's still going to go into tool 1. It'll just roll around here. Hopefully that'll be okay. Go. And extrude 1. Yep, I caught it. Just have to resist building a 350 again. I like my small printers. I like my small printers. Okay, extrude again. There we go. There's some orange coming out. And extrude again. I really like the 250 size. I have plenty of 300 builds. This is a 300. I have a 300 Trident. And my original V2 is a 300-ish. Let's go one more. Yep, that's looking nice and black. And I think tool 2 is the last one. I already pulled the red out that we used last time because I needed it to print something else. So tool 2, that heated up. These off of here and switch to tool 2. I have not worked on my micron because I still can't figure out, I don't know what's going on with QGL. QGL is not reliable on it. I don't know why. So it's been sitting over here collecting dust. Why didn't that grab? Oh. It's waiting for the tool to heat up. There we go. And 5, extrude, retract, retract. Get this awful white out of here. Hate white filament. Z-Probe is the Revo PZ, but it's something to do. It's something to do, I think, in the Z the belts. I suspect that it is tensions and stuff need to be tweaked, and I'm not 100% sure that they are. Something's not cracked up in one of them. It uses those BFZs, which I'm not a fan of to begin with. I don't like dual screw tensioning, stuff like that. Okay, so all that was removed. So we don't have to do anything else with this because we're not putting new filament in. We're just doing 2 color stuff or 2 material stuff right now. So you can just pull that off. See you, Tohos. I really want to see Project Hail Mary. I've listened to the book and it was fantastic. So I bet it's a grub screw. I've checked all that. So okay, so let's grab tool 1. Let's just grab tool 0. That'll be easier to start with. I'm gonna put a PZ probe on one of my V0s and have a more fixed bed with the Lysetic bed mount. Good fun and quite emotional. I was wondering if that's what you went to see, Ella. I asked you how the movie was. I don't know if you heard me. So Max and I listened to Project Hail Mary 2 years ago on the way to Rocky Mountain and back. And from that, I downloaded and listened to The Martian after that, narrated by Will Wheaton, and that was pretty fantastic too. Okay, we can set up a print. Let me clean the bed. I am out of my small bottles of IPAs, so I get to use the big bottles. Does anybody have a recommendation for like an Amazon sourceable, reusable bottle for this stuff? Okay. Because what I usually do is I'll take these bottles, because they're relatively small, easy to deal with, but I don't pop the hole. I put a pinhole in the foil. That way it's more controlled coming out, because I use it just with like a paper towel, put a little bit on, and then go. This just is a little more awkward because it's a much bigger bottle. I'd still put a pinhole there, but Okay, squeeze bottle with the bent tip. I was thinking about that. Okay. Fingernail polish remover jar. You pour it in and pump it to your towel. Okay. You know, interesting thing. You know, interesting fact about Project Hail Mary is that Matt Denton worked on the logic and the control system, the mechanisms for Rocky. Isn't that cool? Hey, buddy. Hey, you want a treat? You want a treat? We got a few exciting. You want a treat? You want a treat? Come on, up here, up here, up here. Come on. Come on. You can do it. Here, I'll give him a sample. He likes these. And another one. Come on, up here. Oh, here it is. Here it is, buddy. Oh, okay. Well, that was... These cats are so fidgety. Apparently he knocked this and now he's at the other end of the house. So I tried. Tend to watch it, but I'm afraid to see too much. I usually avoid watching previews for, yeah. Okay, anyway, that was an attempt was made. Okay, the other thing, okay, so this is all good. That's all there. Let's get the bed up to 60. Get that heating up. Sometimes previews reveal too much and all the surprises. I'm not too worried about seeing Project Hail Mary previews because I've listened to the book. So I have nothing they've shown has been a surprise. What they've changed is going to be interesting to see. But generally I stick away from reviews and previews as well when it's something new. Okay, let's open up Prusa Slicer. Not core one. We want... Oh, come on. V2 blue. V2 blue. And I had started with... I think it's Stealthchanger. That's Stealthchanger PLA. And we're going to grab... I don't think I have a specific print profile, so let's just grab this one. We'll play around with this. I don't know what combination there, Tuxedo, but at least some part of it and some aspects were mechatronic, apparently. Good timing, Rod. Yeah, they have to streamline stuff like that. Okay. Let's start in the filaments. And for PLA, let's leave this stuff. 225. I'll leave that for now. Cruciment likes hotter. I could go as high as 230, 235 on that, but for right now, we'll leave that. Cooling is all fine. Uniform cooling, I think that's, was it uniform? I don't know. Volumetric speed, purge. What we do need to do is come over here into our start, and I think we need to add, after it does the start, right here, new line, and add this purge lines. So this is the purge line macro thing. And then we'll save that. Okay. So this will do for our little test print here. So let's bring up I have a print files folder and calibration prints. And I use this little print here. So let's get that thing out of the way. Let's move this up here. So this is just a little lab that I use. Hey, Nick. Hey, Boydie. So to use this, I go in and I change this to only 2 perimeters, 0 top, but I'm going to put 1. Often I'll do 0 bottom just to make it a quick test, but I'm going to do a first layer test here and see how my first layer is. I can watch this for the first layer and make adjustments, baby step it from there. Which reminds me, I think I wanted to do this with the smooth side of the sheet. So let me flip it over and wipe it down, at least in the area where we're going to be printing. Okay. Let's see. And then infill is 0. So that's basically what I'm going to do. For a first shot, we're just going to print this. It's going to take a few minutes. It does say 21 minutes. I think that's probably, let's go to filaments and cooling. What do we want to change this to? We want this to, if print time is estimated below this number of seconds, print move speed will be scaled down to extend duration of this to this value. I want this to be 1. Let's just, and then I bet you that, yeah, that cuts the print time in half. So let's go ahead and send it. Not send it. Yeah, because it'll do all the stuff. So let's send it and see what happens. Now your macro, your purge macro, does this require me manually preheat the tools? That's a question, Nemi. Do I need to manually preheat the tools, or will it do it as part of the slicer settings? No, if you added it to the print start, then it will preheat. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. Upload and print. For prime all tools, it has a target temp, and then print start, you should have a loop that heat them all. Okay, so that's gonna go do its stuff. You need to add it to the slicer too, though. I did. I don't know if you saw that. Right here, right? The prime lines initial tool. Is that what you're talking about? Oh, only one cycle for that. So now it's preheating. Oh, prime lines will prime all tools that has a target temp, and print start should have to loop that heat them all. Okay. So it's heating up to the 225 now. And then I want, where are my, they're there. So now it's doing the prime. Okay. So it's, oh, interesting. It does a little hump. What is it doing that for? That's interesting. It lifts the, oh, no. It's not. It's it was lifting over the Chicago ball. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Okay, I like that prime. I like the prime. It might be a little close, but we'll see as it goes on. I'm gonna put some Loctite on this thing too. It bugs me that I can move this. Okay, it's a little close. So let's baby step this. That go through. It's a lot better. A little bit more. It didn't do a mesh. Did it do a mesh, or did I miss it? Did I miss it doing a mesh? Why didn't it do a mesh? I'm a little worried about this being valid if I didn't do a mesh. It primed more than needed. I like to eject the filament from the heat zone before print, so I purge the color change before a print. You reduce the number of lines if you wish. I see. Why didn't it do a mesh? Isn't that part of the print start? Quad gantry level. It's not. Why isn't it part of the, oh, bed mesh adaptive. It is. Did it do it and I just didn't notice? I may have been distracted. I'll pay attention for the next one. We'll leave this as it is. Good call. Good call. Probe points. Unknown command, bed mesh calibrate. What? Unknown command, bed mesh calibrate. There's no mesh defined. Oops. Want that. But we've used this, haven't we? Quad gantry level. Huh. I'm going a little mad then, because I thought sure we had that set up. So this is not, in all our working on this, it is not done a bed mesh. Okay, I'll have to get that set up. Locked tight. Lock it tight. Leave that right like that. Let that dry. I always do 2 layers on the skirt. Makes it easier to remove if you're too close. I'm just surprised we didn't notice that I didn't have a mesh on every other print we've done on this. Ooh. I was just playing around with this. You got a really thin bottle there. It's a lot thicker. I can't push it in there, but I can push it in right there. I don't want to play with that too much. Can't push it in there. These little blow mold bottles. Mm-hmm. Exactly, Wick Central. I need to pick me up some of the little bottles to transfer it to. Well, these are a blow mold, right? They have a cartridge, kind of like the 2-liter bottles. It's a little test tube looking thick plastic, and they heat it up and put it into a 2-piece mold and then pressurize it to fill the space, and then it separates and you've got your bottle. That's why you should have a seam. Like, yeah, there's a seam here and a seam on the other side. Molded by pressure rather than vacuum. Hey, Marcel. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, at least from the lighting we see it at. I'll bring it over here under the camera and we'll see what it looks like, and we'll measure it. And so I get a few things out of this. I can get a pretty good idea on extrusion multiplier, whether I need to adjust that, and pressure advance. Has a pretty good idea from that. I've been using this. I think this file originated with Greg Senwar from the Prusa Bear project. I think that's where this file originally came from. It is. This is the Prusa Galaxy Purple. It's the same stuff that I used for this. It's the same filament. It blows me away how clean these supported surfaces are, though, with this PLA with PETG supports. It's so nice. That would be I printed this with just traditional supports and I could not remove them. Oh, there we go. Okay. There we go. God, that looks really good. Did not expect to stream today. Well, member stream. I can't skip the member stream. Yeah, that looks pretty fantastic from a layer stacking point of view. You can feel the elephant's foot. It was a little close for those, but you can see where I adjusted it. See the adjustment there? This is where it started. And then this is where it ended, and it was good all the way across, so that's good. Looking at so I'll look at the corners for any PA, and it actually looks pretty good. I'll see here, if PA is too high, you'll see a gap form in this rounded off corner. It's not, and if it's too low, you'll see these other corners bulging. So that's really, really quite good the way it is. I will grab my actual micrometer. So for this test, for this particular method, you really want to use a micrometer rather than calipers. So I will turn this on, make sure that we are 0, then we'll pull this out and usually just get in here and test at the middle, and then we'll go all the way around. It is going to vary depending on exactly where you test it. So we're in the 7.3 something range on all of them. Yeah. If I measure a different spot here, we may get a little different. Yeah, 7.4 something on that side. That is that side right there. That's how it was sitting on the printer. So that measurement there is compared to in the slicer. If you go to print settings and your layers and parameters, it'll tell you right here, recommended object thin wall thickness for layer height 0.2 and 2 lines is 0.76 millimeters. From experience, I know that if I do 0.76, if my goal is measuring this at 0.76, then I'm going to end up with an over extruded part. I want to be somewhere in the 0.74 to 0.75 range. So I would consider bumping the extrusion multiplier up just a little bit here under filaments. So I'm going to bump this up to 0.98. And from the sheen, now we're making 2 changes at once here, but from the sheen of it, I think it could be a little shinier. I'm going to bump the temperature up 5 degrees, and we'll do it again and see how that comes out. Now, I know bumping the temperature can have an impact on all these other settings, but we'll be able to narrow this down within just a couple of prints and then be at a point where we can give it a try. Save that, and I'm actually going to save this as Cement Galaxy. So, and figure I will try this for whatever various Galaxy prints. So, okay. I wasn't going to actually put the bed mesh section in because it doesn't seem like it needs it for this. I'll end up putting it in there, but I didn't want to focus on that. I don't think it doesn't seem like it matters. And slice this, and we'll see how this first layer comes out as it is. I'll grab some tweezers so I'm not touching the bed to get the skirt off. And our purge line. Hey, John. Okay, and then we're gonna send this over. Let me just make sure we're pick any ooze off the bottom. I need to put some sort of nozzle brush in this and incorporate that into the whole setup. Okay. So, should file selected. We're waiting for the bed temp. You can very tell where it was bouncing on the end stop ball. And when I first saw that, I was thinking maybe it was doing that as some method of cleaning off any remaining stuff on the on the nozzle, but nope. It was bouncing on the, at least it's a ball. It did nice and smooth. That was hilarious. What do I got here? I got a scrap a paper towel in here. I can clean off the excess. Let that sit there longer. That Loctite sit there. Hopefully by the time it's done, it's not going to easily unscrew. Do. There we go. Now it's heating up, 230 this time. It wants to focus on that front. There we go. That front idler. Okay. A little purge. Get a good look at what our first layer is doing. Is it still at the offset that I... No, it reset it. What Oh, did I restart the thing? Let's try this one. It reset it. Why did it reset it? Did I restart? I just moved it back to, I think, about what I had it at before. And it looks pretty good. Maybe another bump. Let's try that. So we'll do this for this, and then we'll do it for the PETG, and then let's do an, like I said, let's do an upside down benchy for fun. And while it's printing that, we'll look at the STL for this keyboard and see what the resolution seems to be. I've never done an upside down benchy, so. With PLA PETG support. Yep. It'll be PLA with PETG support. Yep. Just flip the printer upside down. I used the mill yesterday. I cut down a piece of 1515 extrusion for the index dock. This is, so the Maker Beam extrusions are coming a little nicer anodized now. It's got a little bit of texture, kind of like the LDO extrusions. I was really pleased to see that. This is just Maker Beam 1 meter. I got a 4-pack of 1 meter extrusions from Amazon for that. I rough cut it with a hacksaw and then milled it down to size. I've got a top hat that I need to modify to fit on that. It's a Stealthchanger top hat, but they don't make a 250, so I got to cut down the extrusions and the panels for a 300 kit. I print lots of functional model like that, and I seen your keyboard, like told me, support interface, not just have the support as a PLA PETG. The thing I worry about that, Nick, is for islands to actually stay together. I'm still a little on a big print. Opposite, the reason is because of bed layer adhesion. I print PETG and use PLA as support, so bed temp is too hot. Got it. But I still worry about the interface layers staying on for like islands of support areas. When those come loose, it's potential to ruin the print. I was having problems when I was printing the little make robots for that photo shoot, is the arms were coming loose because it wasn't enough surface area for the incompatible materials to stay together long enough for the print to finish. And maybe I just haven't tried the right combination of materials. The another factor there I just thought of on this particular print, this Sunlu PETG is a whole lot cheaper than this Prusament PLA. So I'm gonna do full PETG supports. And it seems, in my experience, if I run the bed at like 65, the PETG sticks okay. At least it did on the index prints I was doing. What was the pressure advance? Because I didn't feel like I needed to change pressure advance at all. It's 0.04. 0.04 exactly is what it's set to. Yeah, this Sunlu PETG I think was less than $20 a kilogram. And the Prusament PLA is like $30 or $35 a kilogram. Almost done. And I want to save the offset this time. Let's see when it did. I don't remember doing a firmware restart, but oh, maybe when it did the home, and it did it when it did the home and nope, it just reset. It just reset as part of the end. It just reset as part of the print end. Is that in? We didn't put it here, did we? Printers, print end. So now let's go look at print end. Oops, that's not what I want. Print end. G-code offset right there. Reset the G-code. Oh, that's weird. I don't really like that. Why is it doing that? Why do you have that set? Because now, oh, it just sets the offset. Is that because of tools? I don't get that. I can duplicate it. I can go, we went up and -1. We were at 0.09 and I can save that. And will it save? Yes, okay. Okay, that printed, so let's pop it off of here. Come on, there we go. Let's see if that is any. Let's see. It is a little bit different in terms of sheen. I don't know if it's actually less or more. That's weird. Okay. I'm not seeing anything I would change in the PA values. So I'm going to call that okay. I'm going to call that good with our offset set. So now we want to do the PETG. So let's do this for PETG. Let's go back to the platter and let's change this filament, and we'll start with the same Stealthchanger PLA profile, but let's edit this preset. We're going to save this as PETG Sunlu. Okay. We'll leave everything alone except for we'll bump this up to, I think, what do they say here? They don't give recommendations on the thing, but I'm guessing somewhere around there. And let's set the bed to 65. See how well it sticks to this. Oh. Let me put down some glue stick. Do I want to do glue stick, or I'll just do some vision miner, right? Actually, I'll just flip this over to the textured side. And put down some vision miner. PETG will bond. If you are not aware, PETG will bond to PEI. And this is just raw, clean PEI right now. So I do not want it to bond to the plate. So we'll just turn this over to the textured side, and I'll put down some vision miner around the areas where we're going to be printing anyway as a separation layer. Here, this should cover what we're doing here today. And then I just take the corner of the paper towel. They have a little brush they come with, but I don't have one handy. So take the corner of the paper towel, hopefully to minimize the amount that soaks into the paper towel rather than what stays on the bed. Good to know. Oh yeah, absolutely. If you ever do a big PETG print on a smooth PEI sheet without some sort of separation layer, it will bond and rip that PEI up. Okay, textured side, all of that's there. Let's see, 65, cooling. We do not need as much. And we're going to change this to that same 1 second. So let's save that and slice it. And we need to change the, actually change this to filament 2. Slice it. And I think we should be able to just let this go. Let's find out. Zoom out so we can see more what it's doing. Oop. There we go. And send. So now it's going to be heating up to 65. And it's at 50 right now, so it won't take long. Yeah, it's easier to remove from textured sheets, but I would still advise if it's PEI, I would still advise a layer. So it used to be the case, Tuxedo, printed solid wouldn't ship to Canada. That's why Nero never did. It was a topic on his channel when he was giving away printed solid filament stuff. I don't know if that's changed. Right, but I think it was a matter of shipping to Canada that printed solid didn't want to deal with. That very well may have changed, but it used to be the case. This will be interesting to see if the first layer is good. Persimmon filament is pretty fantastic. It's good stuff. And that very well may have changed, especially with the, because my information is probably pre-Prusa. Is it regular PC or is it the PCCF, Neil? The PC blend, the Prusament PC blend is interesting for me because the regular PC blend stuff prints fantastic on like my Mark IV or the Core 1s or whatever. But when I've tried to print it on any other printer, it warps like mad. And I'm not exactly sure why. The PCCF stuff is easy on anything, but can't use CF. It interferes with the RC gear. Interesting. Let me know how it works out for you. I bought some PC blend. This was years ago. I bought PC blend and was trying to print tool heads, Voron tool heads out of it, because I was using the Polymax or the Polymaker PC Max for those before, and it worked great. But I was always getting major warping with the PC blend. Okay, so now we are doing what? Too many retries. This is an annoying little thing here, because I think part of this is it doesn't wait for a temperature. Like the hot end, it starts doing this before the hot end gets to a temperature that it thinks it should be. So I'm gonna heat the bed back up. We're gonna heat this one back up to 145, and then we'll try this again. What was this doing? We got 0.001, 0.008. It's hovering around. Why? Why? Make sure this is clean. Oh, got a little bit off of it. Let's try that again. See you, Andres. Yeah, I know, error message. But I'm getting things up to speed, up to temperature. And let's just resend it from here. Let's try again. Oh, what's it waiting on now? Why did it bump the temperature of that up to... all of these setups are weird when it comes to what temperatures it's setting. Like this one, when I start the print, it bumps the temperature up, but now it's got to reduce it in order to do the QGL or any Z probing. Temperature management needs some work. Hey, Steve. Hey, Spectra. And I don't really like that the pool 1 is sitting there at 250 right now, just sitting there cooking. It's not QGLing. What the hell? It bumped up to 0.012 and it was 0.00 or 0.01 the last time. Oh, there it goes. Nope, there goes for the tool. And the purge. See what this looks like. Okay, it's looking good. Finish that in a second. Okay, what's it doing now? Waiting for extruder with deadband. Why isn't it just printing? It's at 250. Why is it heating up extruder 1 or extruder 0? It's not using it in the print. Extruder 0 is sitting there at 230 degrees now. That doesn't seem right. Extruder 0 is sitting here heated. What am I doing wrong? Let's just turn that to 0. This is a single filament print. It just happens to not be using tool 0. There's nothing that should be using tool 0 for this. But it heated it up to full temperature. It didn't. It was sitting there at 230. It didn't turn off tool 0. There's no reason for that to have ever heated up on this print. No, there was no target temp. Or where can I check to see if there was one? Let's put it that way. That first layer is looking fine. Where would I check to see if there's a target temp? Because here, if there was anything going on with extruder 1, slicer extruder 1, then it should be showing a purge tower. See you, Marcel. When T0 probes, it heated to 150. Then why did it go to 230 after that? It heats it to 145, not 150, but... There's no reason why that should heat up to T30 to its print temperature. It's not this dummy proof yet. Well, I'm wondering, where is it? Where is this? Is this something in the code? Is this something I'm doing wrong? I'm pretty sure this is fairly wet filament. There's a little extra texture there. I have not had this PETG in a dryer. Anyway, if it's something in the code, use this as a proof that something is still off, or if it's something I'm doing, let me know. If it's something in my particular configuration that I haven't done right. I think, should we be able to, at least for the time being, get around this by going, what is it, here? And what is this? Temperature difference to be applied when an extruder is not active. So if we enable that and change this to like -50, that at least will get that to 180 and it's not sitting there cooking the filament. Right? But it might require an actual tool swap in order to initiate that. Hey, JD. An idle temp? Is that under advanced? Oh, here, let me search. Idle temperature. No. Idle temperature? What is this? Novel temperature when the tool is currently not used in multi-tool setups. This is only used when ooze prevention is active in print settings. Interesting. Leave that for now. It does not. They do not have idle temp set up. It shouldn't be heating the filament in the dock until after QGL anyways. Do some testing. Okay. Let me know. That texture on the front is a little odd. Look at that. Yeah, those artifacts. We'll see if that's on all surfaces. That's not resonance. That's even across the whole thing. If it was resonance, you'd see like ghosting from the corners. Interesting, given the same motion system, different filament. The other one is not showing any sign whatsoever of that. What's the best V6 hot end that doesn't require crazy cooling? No idea. Yeah, those artifacts are interesting. We'll look at it. We'll look at it up close. Could be going too fast for PETG, too. PETG is not, especially this just regular generic PETG, it's not necessarily a high flow filament, right? Well, all of these have Revo high flows in them. So they're a multi-path. Oh, okay. Cool. All done. Yeah, it might have been a little high. A little high. So that offset between those two can probably be tweaked. Let's see here. So that was that front edge. I would say PA is a little high. I can see a little gap there. It's hard to tell in the black, but you can tell more on this back corner. It's cutting the corner a little bit. So PA is a little high. What was the flow rate? Wet filament won't like fast printing. Yeah. It was capped at 20 cubic millimeters per second. Y moves are better than the X moves. Let's see what the diameter is here, or what the, so maybe a little, the waves kind of adjust that too. But if that is the case, the waves would probably make this worse, so it's probably under extruding quite a bit. So given, I think it's under extruding a bit, which the moisture could be impacting as well. I don't want to change my offset until I have the flow rate right, because that's going to change the way that the first layer goes down as well. So let's bump the flow up and let's lower our PA a little bit and see what we get. So extrusion multiplier, let's go all the way to 1. And then our PA 0.04 is high. So let's go like 3.5 and see what happens. Slice it. And we did set, let's do this also. Let's save this. Let's go over here. Let's do edit this preset with idle temperature. Let's see what happens if we do 150 there like he suggested. And here, let's leave this at, let's put this to 65 just because, in case. Okay. Slice it. Let me get all the stuff off of here, off the plate. And make sure that this is here and 65. Get these heated up so they're preheated before we start this whole thing. We haven't seen Oscar. I know. The door's open. He knows I'm out here. They're still a little discombobulated from fleas. They didn't like fleas, and we're working on getting rid of them. So they've been a little weird because of that. Oscar especially. It's actually going to give him another little drop on the back of the neck flea treatment today. I'm sorry, Ella. That's do what you need to do. Do what you need to do. Okay, let's go ahead and start this print. Well, now it's set to okay, 150, whatever. So I'm gonna go rest in bed and come back. Yep, that's often good. .032 was the result, that one. .020. Admittedly, I have not gone through and double checked my Z-belt yet. So I need to do that. There we go. That one's .005. Okay, now it's going. It set the target temperature on extruder 0 to 0. It's grabbed. Now it's doing this. Now it's doing the prime. When it finished the prime last time is when it changed extruder. Here, watch extruder 0. Now it's set it to 150. So it's setting a temperature there. I don't know if that's slicer or what, but it is setting something on tool 0 right after the prime line. Let me get a look at this and see how we're looking. And because it took that extra time, there's extra stuff here that it's pulling around because it sat there and oozed for a little bit. It should be going straight to the print from that purge line. Let this finish through. Now we're seeing the this potentially too high, but I wouldn't actually know unless I printed the PLA on the textured side, because remember, I tuned that offset on the smooth side. I don't know how that applies to the textured side. So we would probably want to check the offset on tool 0 before we thought we needed to make a change to tool 1. We're going to let this calibration print finish, but regardless of the results, it's going to be fine for supports. We're going to move right into printing the upside down benchy. So let's get that set up while that's printing. let's delete that and then go in here and undo this. And we're not going to need, we're going to go like, I don't know, 15% infill. And then this and this. Those can all stay. 2 perimeters is fine. Then let's add 3D benchy. Where are you? 3D benchy. Open. So all of the Z offsets are are relative to tool 0, Andy Miller. So you set your global offset on tool 0, and then all other tools are relative to tool 0. Okay, now we're gonna go here, set surface on bed, and print like that. Let's change this to a color we can see. Okay. And then we're going to change this to something, let's just say like a gray for the, then I think we're going to go in here, go to support material. We are going to auto generate it. And I want to do organic supports, and we want to do soluble. And let's see what that looks like. See ya, Ella. Yeah, there we go. Now we're going to go here. We're going to say multiple extruders. Support material is tool 2. Just do that. Bed temperature by extruder. No, we're not going to. What does this say? The extruder which determines bed temperatures. I'm just setting it to 65 for both in the filament settings. The other thing that I thought was useful was, what was it? There was something that you say which perimeter extruder, wipe tower extruder. The extruder used when printing perimeter of the wipe tower. Set to 0 to use the one that is available. Okay, so I want this, I want the exterior of the wipe tower to be one material. It'll hold it together. I've had prints here where the wipe tower failed because the interface between the differing materials failed and it broke off. So if you have a shell around that that's one material, we should be able to see that here now. We'll get a, there we go. Now you'll see that on the wipe tower, this minuscule wipe tower, but the whole outside of it is PETG, so it'll hold it together. Okay, so let's go here, and let's go back here. Let's move this in front. Let's move this back a bit. Just so that's there. I think that's far enough back. Here, Chapman, thanks for being a member. I'm gonna get this closer to that. There's no reason for it to be that far away, except that it'll, here, let's do this. That way I can still point a camera at it. And we can see it building up, but the tools will still hit here first instead of dropping any possible ooze on the part. Let's try that. Does that look good? See how that works out? You got a little bit of support there that's going to be annoying, but whatever. Okay. we still have that waviness on the front of the part. But I need to dry this. I'll dry it before I worry about too much on this. It just has to be stable enough and good enough to be a support. Okay. Ugh. Anybody else have anything going on? Almost done with this print. There we go. Oh. Right across. Okay, that is done. Let's see how this looks. It's more together than the other one was, so that flow rate made a difference. Ooh, RC8B. Fun. Is it still nitro, or have you done electric on that? The PA looks a lot better. A lot better. That same corner. There we go. You can see in that corner how it's cutting it a bit, and you see the gap where that's gone now. So just dabbling in some printer projects, trying to print some maker chips, getting excited for Rocky Mountain. Awesome. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Offsets might still be off. Let's see what our... Yeah, the flow went way up. But with this wet filament, this is all grain of sand or grain of salt measurements. We're going to call all this fine till I dry it. You really need to tune all of this with it dry. These are all fine for supports though. Yeah. So let's get this cleaned off. Get this off of here. And we'll be able to see this purge on both. Oh, come on. Okay, let's break out the Panda edge. There we go. Perfect. Okay. We are ready to print this. And I think it's just, let's send it. Let's see what happens. Upload and print. So it is waiting for that. Let's get this up to, get tool 0 up to temperature. OG RC8B with OG Reedy 121 VR21 engine with a GRP pipe. Nice. Oh, so it bumped the temperature of the extruder up to 230 for a moment, and then now it's back to 145. But it's starting QGL before that 145 is up to speed, up to temperature. So I think a sequence of events in the print start could probably be tweaked. .028. What was that one? 0.01. Hopefully this is the last. I had a RC10 GT back in the day. Well, 0.01 again. Hey, Pat. Welcome. Okay. What are we? There we go. 0.001. Okay, now what is it going to do? It's heating up tool 1 to 230. Tool 0 to 230. Tool 1 is 200. I believe the tool heating before QGL is coming from the slicer. Could check the G code. But the print start should probably have a wait for temp in there for the initial 145 or 150, whatever it ends up being, before it starts doing QGL. Okay, so now it is waiting for temp on extruder 1. So now it's going to grab it. It's going to purge. Extruder 0 is still sitting there at 230 in the tool. Waiting for extruder 1 to cool down to 250. Now it's doing its purge. Okay. Now it's going to put that away and purge tool 0. Purge tool 0 there. See if that's looking good. Now what's it doing? Waiting for extruder. For which extruder? It's waiting for extruder 1 to cool down to 200 because it's in the dock. Yep. Okay. Here's our now it's waiting for extruder 1. So this waiting on temperatures thing is going to slow down the print a lot. But look at that. Look at that blob of filament it formed. The print's ruined. Look at that blob of filament there. Look at that huge blob of filament it pulled with it. Ooze control. Ooze control is awful. An awful problem to deal with. We'll see how this turns out, but I don't have hopes that we'll actually get a good print here. The whole thing with any of these is just the idea of having the tools sit there at full temperature. You have either cooking filament or ooze, or the flip side of that is you have to wait for temperatures to change. And there's a slower tool changes than ooze and blobs. Yeah. Orca Slicer is better for ooze control. Okay. But you still, I mean, the only way you can do ooze control is get the filament out of the hot zone. So that's something I could try. Or temperature management. I mean, it's all temperature management. Now it's waiting for extruder 1 to heat up. And what's it going to look like coming down? It looks okay. Still a bit of filament in there. So PLA looks like it's okay. Let's see what the PETG looks like coming off of there. I'll grab some tweezers so I can maybe be a little. Okay. There's a little bump starting there. I don't trust that this wipe tower is going to survive. Well, if you pick up the tool and then heat up, it's just going to put a string of ooze. There's an ooze blocker, but not a wiper. Yeah, I think the wipe tower is going to fail before we get too far with anything. Not much time with the PLA. Yeah, it's bouncing on the, it's going to be bouncing on the wipe tower here pretty soon, and it'll eventually cut loose. I want to start oozing as soon as it leaves the dock, and it's ooze blocker anyway. The time, if you can minimize the amount of time where the filament's in the hot zone, in the melt zone, the tool change time is good. It should be negligible. But I think something I should probably try is here in the slicer, we should probably be looking at, and maybe the draft shift folks can tell me yay or nay, but there is a retraction when tool is disabled down here. Oops, that's not what I wanted. There. Retraction when tool is disabled. So right now it's retracting 10 millimeters. But maybe it needs to retract a little more, and that would help. Oh, yep, we lost our wipe tower, so the prints failed at this point. So once tool 0 is in there, I'm gonna pause and stop the print. Oh. It's tool 1. Whatever. Let that finish. Just for ease of starting this over again, I want tool 0 back down here before I actually stop the print. Has anyone been able to delve into the Snapmaker U1 macros? Guessing they have to release it as it runs Clipper. I would hope so, but history has shown on all these Chinese manufacturers, they don't really care. They're going to base their stuff on Clipper and not release anything. There we go. Pause and cancel. As long as the tool prints a short purge line at every tool change. That's what the wipe tower is for. That's what the tower is for. Okay, stop. So let's look at this. Look at a couple of things here. We've got our wipe tower, which really didn't, because of that initial ooze, it didn't have a good foundation to start with. Let's pull our skirt out of there. All of this looks pretty good. Could be bed temp be too low for the PETG? Could be. It's sticking really well though. It's sticking really well to where I need to use the scraper for the wipe for the purge line here. These are all sticking fine. Let's look at, see if we have any signs of first layer issues. That looks good. A little masked. So it's turning out pretty good. All of these, it is, the offset between them is different. So that, I feel like, you can see through that. I think that could be a little lower. I don't think we need a bed mesh, but there's a few things we can do here. I think if we go over here to tool changer and tool 1, our, where is it? Here we go. Offset. Z offset says -202. If I want this to be closer on this one, do I want to lower or raise this number? Tuxedo, thanks for being a member. So if it's, I think I want to go like -2.25. I think. Let's just add a 5 there. Save and restart. Just get that a little closer in between tool 0 and 1. And then in the slicer, I want to do a couple of things here. I want to, in our filaments, I want to turn this off. Idle temperature off. Save that. And here, I want to turn this off. I don't want to, I want to manage filament cooking by retracting it out of the heat zone rather than changing the temperature. So we don't have to wait for those things. If I'm on the wrong track, let me know. But if we go back to printers now and extruder, we can get this. What is the melt zone on a V6? Let's grab a nozzle, just a random nozzle here. And if we wanted to retract this, it's about 20 millimeters. If we retract it about 20 millimeters, we'll be out of the main area here of the heater. So let's change these to 20. Not a V6, a Revo. So we'll go 20. And then extruder 2, we'll go 20. And then I do want here under print settings, under multiple extruders, I want white tower brim. In tool changer config, you can adjust your deadband. A deadband of 10 will let the tool change happen if the nozzle is within 5C of the target. Okay. I'll find that here in a second. I want this to be a little more. Let's make that, give it a little wider base. And then there is also a this is going to be tall and thin. So let's just set that to a number. And then under filaments, I want to bump up the purge amount a little bit. So if we slice this, we'll see a little base cone. But we will also want to, which one? Let's go edit this preset. Oops. I hate that. Yeah, let's just save that and change this to 20 also. Just to give it a little more in that tower, but not a lot more. Okay, platter is still those that slice it. And if we go back here, we change this to 20. That'll make that a little, just that little bit extra wider. There we go. And so then in our tool changer config, the dead band, there it is, default dead band. This will be 10. Can make it more sturdy too. But the little cone there should do that. Let's save and restart. Okay. This is 65. I don't, just even when it wasn't fully smushed into the plate, it was still sticking just fine on like this bit. So I don't think the temperature on the PETG is a problem. Let's get that bumped up. Once that's up to temperature, let me pick the ooze off the nozzle, and then we'll start this print and see what it does. Let me also clear out any little ooze that has accumulated up on the tool. That's fine. Go. Put that back in there. Put that back down. Pick that off. Okay. I think we're ready to try again. Hey, nice. Turn on a textured bed because I have a skirt engraved in it. Okay. Out. And I think with both of those sitting there at temperature, we can send this again. Let's see what this is doing. Gotta lower the temperature now. Go. Oh, did I still have? Hey, Liz. No, that's turned off. Okay. Edit preset. Yeah, that's all turned off. Okay. watching. So PETG is sitting there. Make sure this isn't, yeah. What was that? 0.021 was the last result. There we go. Sweet. Nice. Thanks for being a member. Waiting for extruder. So now it's heating up. It should go over and do the purge. Oh, nope. That one first. Okay. Now when this is going back to the dock, I should see a pretty significant retract. It did not. It did not retract at all. What's that 20 millimeters supposed to do then? The 20 millimeters I set in the extruder didn't do a thing. Will it do it on this one? Well, now it's going to sit here for what? What's it sitting here for? Waiting for extruder, but they're... I don't get that. Okay, so that retracted. That retracted at the end of that print move. That left a big old blob on the, at least it left it on the silicone up here instead of taking it down with it. But it's not actually, there it goes. Oops, sorry. Okay, I'm gonna watch this for a 20 millimeter retract. This first layer appears to be better. Let me get my glasses. I'm gonna... Yeah, that's definitely squishing more. It does not appear to be over squishing either. So that 0.05 millimeter offset change seemed to have been pretty close. Yeah, that looks really good. So my issue right now is it's not obeying the slicer retract when tool not active right after the purge lines, which caused it to generate a ball of filament that fortunately stuck in the dock this time, but it took it with it last time. This is the size of the ball of filament that it left this time, which isn't as significant as the last one, but it still would have caused a problem. we'll see. I'm optimistic that this one will be a better try than the last one. Okay, so now that goes away. And that's already at temperature. So now that should put some filament there. Doing the skirt, whatever. Now it puts that away. Let's see what this does. That puts it back. Okay. Looking pretty good. I'm seeing things happening now as I expect them to. I really need to try Orca. I need to try Boss as well. Okay. There's a little, no, that wasn't bad. Okay. Just checking for things on the, okay. Oh, shoot. I pushed off on the, I pushed off on my thing there. Yeah, that's looking okay. Where does it? Okay, it must do that after. Puts that back. Runs through there. It's back there. Do we have any idea? What is total tool change time here? Maybe I'll get my phone and do a timer here. Let's see. Stopwatch. I didn't start at that one. I'll do the next one. Okay, so started now until it's doing print moves again. So after purge. So it's about 13 seconds, a little over 13 seconds, including purge tower. How does that sound? Hey, don't knock it. Thanks for being a member. About a little over 13 seconds. It's a good question. I don't know exactly if that's on par or not. I'm glad I put those little red ticks on the extruder because it makes it nice to be able to see what it's doing. I feel like that's pretty good. 12 to 13 seconds on the tool change. Considering we are adjacent tools, that will change by a second or so if you're going from like tool 0 to tool 4. But I'm really happy with the way it's changing tools. Yeah, I also am thinking that changing the temperature in the dock is not as effective as just getting the filament out of there. Getting the filament out of the hot zone seems to be the more effective way of managing ooze than I like that, Nemi. You could bump the speeds, but you know, if you're happy, it's fine. If you're happy. I mean, it could be faster, but if you're happy, it's fine. Hey, Doxoid. No shame. You gotta walk before you can run. What is it pulling around with it? Just some stringiness? It's pulling some stringiness around. Let's see. It's got something it's pulling around. It's accumulated something it's dragging. PETG is so icky. Icky sticky. Yeah, it's sitting there. Yeah, go away. Oh, get my hands out of there. I don't know if I got anything. Yeah, seems to have. Yeah, I need to dry this PETG. Absolutely. After building all the tool changers. I want thoughts after I've used all the tool changers for a while. I mean, my thought is tool changers are freaking awesome. Just because I haven't even thought of all the use cases that we're gonna have for them. The BQ vacuum bags. I have some of the iBoss vacuum bags and their little pump. Planning to fully enclose the Stealthchanger. Yes. Yes. Planning planned done. Wipe tower is surviving. I think the wet PETG is my biggest problem right now. So we finished this, Tuxoid. We finished this last Sunday. I had JD on chatting about the build, and we did a print, a multi 5 color print here on stream. So this is just extra addendum type stuff for a member stream. And that's a great point, Nemi. Wet filament, where you can get away with it in some cases, it's not as easy to get away with with this. Hopefully the little smokestack there stays adhered. We can get up to where we're hitting more parts of the benchy will be good. Oh, something's hitting. Something's hitting there. That guy right there. Got it. Sometimes you got to babysit that wipe tower. It's worth it. It's the difference between failing a print or not. Checking on it. What's on your to-do list for Rocky Mountain? Things. I got to rebuild my index trident because I'm supposed to get the latest parts. So we'll have, it'll be at the show at Rocky Mountain at the Bondtech booth. I gotta redo the umbilical system on Phoenix here to the latest version, so it can be up to the latest for the show. And what else? And things. Yours is 5 printers for Rocky Mountain. I'm taking probably Phoenix, Stealthchanger, probably Mad Max, Trident, Index, probably Charlie Wire, probably a V0. Why not? They're small. Probably Legacy. Only trouble with Index for me is that the printer is going on so dialed in now, it'll be hard to take it apart. Will you do a stream on what? What, Joel? On which thing? I'm not going to do any streams before Rocky Mountain. After today, I'm truly on a little break, and then we'll be back on the Vertigo build. Vertigo. This is for anybody who wasn't here earlier. I've got Vertigo parts printed already. I gotta get the ABS haze off of them, but I've got Vertigo parts printed. Vertigo parts printed. So I am taking a U-Haul trailer. Yep. No promises, Troy. No promises. Where to go, Stealthchanger? Oh boy. Did you hear where the V0? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. That made me ridiculously happy. Now it's snowing. The rebuild, the index rebuild. No, I really need to focus on being ready for Rocky Mountain and just taking a general break. I went pretty hard for the last 6 months or so. So having a little chill, no pressure to be ready for a stream for a few weeks here is going to do good. So. Let's see what we got here. It's a little bit that seems to want to form right there. Let's bend that out of the way. Other than that, it's doing okay. Just so little of it in the PLA right now. Okay, it's doing okay. What's that? Raffle printer ended up at West 3D. So Dan at West 3D managed to make everybody happy, and including himself and me. I'm so happy about that. My Dan, not Deanne. My anxiety around that was just in contacting and being able to work with the person who won it to walk them through finishing setting it up in terms of like putting panels on it and the front door and that kind of stuff. And didn't really think about it until after, but the potential language barrier there and everything would have been interesting. So having Dan get it, and yeah, so someone won it, and Dan made an offer to them, and they accepted it. So there was an additional things to SMF. Everybody is happy. That's the bottom line. Everybody's happy, and Dan ended up with it. Yep. So someone named Maria, I don't know where from, I don't know who they are, but they were offered something for it, and they accepted it. I have no idea. I don't know the details. That Loctite did not stick at all. Anyone played significantly with using a big infill nozzle on a tool changer to speed stuff up? You're technically probably better off just over extruding that infill. And you can do that to a pretty significant degree. The support for actual different size nozzles is still pretty fresh if it's in a slicer at all. Oh, and the really nice thing about the printer making it the round trip back, Dan said it arrived fantastic. My packaging was perfect. He said it was better than most printers he gets. So the packaging I built for it, it survived just fine, actually shipping it back. Yeah, happy. Happy all around. Oh, we got some additional PLA in there. You can go like 1 millimeter extrusion width on a 0.4 nozzle tuxoid. It works really good, especially for vase mode prints. Look at that. We got some roof of the benchy printing. This is expected to be a 3-hour print. We're not going to see the whole thing here. Now it is almost all supports at the support speed, which should actually be slower anyway for this PETG, I think. I am pleased with the direction this is going, though. Having made a couple of those slicer changes. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Yeah, I did some, Pooch makes some little sleeves to go around the electrical conduit for like rep racks and stuff. I did a bunch of those in this same, I think the same PETG at 1 millimeter extrusion width, and I cannot break those. The layer adhesion is off the charts. I mean, I'm sure if I really torqued on it, I could break it, but it takes a lot. I don't have one over here, otherwise I'd show you. PETG, it's just all about dry. It gets its worst rep from people not drying it. Case in point. PETG and TPU, they both, you need to dry them. And this particular filament has been sitting out for months. So it is not dry. You can see the texture on the white tower there. This will be neat. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to grab an example of this PETG and PLA stuff. I mean, I have it here. You've seen this, but I've got another example I'll go grab. But I'll grab it. I'll be right back. Let's go here. This print is a failed print, but it is a makey. And this was printed for the photo shoot I did for the last issue with the tool changers in it. And this is Filament, lipstick red, PETG, and then the rest of this is PLA. But look at the undersurface there, the curve of the bottom of the hands there is really good. Now, the problems I had, and this one failed because the wipe tower didn't have a shell around it like we're doing here. We have a PETG shell. So I didn't have a shell, and this one ended up failing at this height where it broke because it was alternating PETG and PLA layers, and it just didn't hold up. So after this print, I put the shell around it. But prior to this print, I was having issues where the arm was coming loose from the PETG supports here. So I put a couple of quick little bridges in there in the slicer just to hold it in place, and figure that those could be cut out just to give that support while it printed. And I ended up with a couple of these that I gave to a couple of folks at Make so they could have them on their desk, and they were also used in the shoot. But yeah, this is loose here. It could be broken off, but I've left it here because this is a really good example of PLA with PETG supports and how absolutely clean that turns out. This was on index. See you, Neil. Yeah, I'm not seeing any signs of any further issues on the tower. The print itself seems to be coming okay. We're not getting any under extrusion on any layers in the PLA that I can see. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna let this keep going. Give it about 4 more minutes and we'll take off. If you have any questions, any final questions, pull them up in chat. I'll just call it at this 3.5 hour mark. Seems pretty good. Useful time here. Got a few things figured out on the Stealthchanger. I'll be closer to sending this keyboard print once I dry this filament. When I did it here, it was dry. There's no stringing in between anywhere. I like how this piece fits in here. It makes for a good demo. But I do need, oh, that's something we were going to do. Let me do that real quick. We're going to open up that file and see what the resolution of the STL was. This is here. Here we are. Keyboard. Let's look at, yep, there it is. Get this out of the way. Oh yeah. There are some extra line. Oh yeah. You can see that there. So there's some of that I'm not going to be able to get rid of without getting a higher resolution model. So that makes me feel better. That makes me feel a lot better about that print quality. There is definitely, the glossiness of the filament is going to highlight that too. There's some faceting is what. Okay. So I will not worry about that. Definitely a relatively low resolution output there, which is just going to be highlighted. So you'll see, yeah, that's where most of this is coming from. There are some areas, like some of the transition, the seams, that kind of stuff that can be probably tweaked. But much of this is in the STL. What are we at right now? Humidity. Humidity is, let's Sensibo. I have a sensor. Sensibo. It is reading 57% here in the garage. See you, Toxoid. I'll see you there. 57%. What is the weather report calling it? We are 45% on the weather report, but 57% here in the garage. So yes, I need to dry stuff. How many tool changes was this? Get this back, slice it. See, Andrew? 216 tool changes is what we will be going through on this print. No, we won't, no stream tomorrow, Andrew. I'm taking a break for a few weeks. We'll be back on the Vertigo build after Rocky Mountain Rep Festival. Consumer grade hygrometers are often off though. This is the Sensibo. This is what I use to control my mini split systems. Is there any DIY suggested more accurate humidity sensors? That'd be an interesting project. 3 weeks from now is Rocky Mountain. So tentatively, and it should be, the first stream back should be on the 26th. April 26th is when I'll be back to streaming. The tentative part is whether it's the Vertigo or not, but it should be the Vertigo on the 26th. If it's not the Vertigo, then it'll be another project I might sneak in. But we shall see. Well, the question is, are there projects that would be more accurate than, are there projects that would be more accurate for humidity reading? That is looking pretty good. That is looking pretty good. The PLA is turning out fine. You can see there. I'm just going to let this go. So with that, I'll leave this on here. Thank you all. Thank you for being members. Thank you for understanding my need to take a little break. We will be back at the end of April. Let me just double check here. Members stream would not be in April. We will probably do a May 2nd members stream for April, and we'll do another one in the middle of May. So if you can get a quality sense of the rest, should be easy. Got it. With that, hope to see you at Rocky Mountain. Thank you for being members. We will see you back on stream when we start the Vertigo build or thereabouts. Take care, everyone. Enjoy the build. Bye.